All right. The one I love the most was asking me or sent me something about the end times. And I said, let me just do a video. I was very much inspired. And I would want to call this the end times made simple, because you will not get the truth about the end times that I can find anywhere else, anywhere out there in the internet, ethernet, nowhere, anywhere. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to pull up Revelation 13. We all heard about that. The 666 chapter, 13, 18. Then I'm going to pull up. Let's go ahead on and pull up Revelation 6. I think that's important. Then we're going to pull up Matthew 24, 1 through 37. I'm thinking I can do this within the next 25 minutes. If I'm wrong, I'm really going to regret this. So then I'm going to pull up second. This is all you need for the end times. 1,000%. 2 Thessalonians 2, 1 through 11. And then I want to pull up Daniel 2, 41 through 43. Then I'm going to pull up Daniel 7, 21 through 25, which, by the way, is about the horn of Daniel 7 as the Antichrist. And Jesus said the Antichrist would be here in his own name. Might as well pull that up, shouldn't we? And I believe that's John 5:43. Jesus said, I come in my Father's name and you receive me not. If another Antichrist shall come in his own name, him you will receive. He's talking to his people of Israel that did not receive him. And he is here in his own name because the horn of Daniel 7, the horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them. And he, see, it's a person, and he shall speak great words against the Most High and wear out the saints. That's Daniel 7:21 through 7:25, the horn. And Jesus said that the Antichrist, Jesus did not use the word Antichrist, but he said, I, Christ, come in my Father's name and ye receive me not. If another Christ shall come in his own name, a trump is a horn and a horn is a trump, they're both trumpets, him you will receive. And Trump is on many temple coins in Israel right now. Donald Trump on Israeli temple coin. You will see different temple coins where Trump is on them. He is going to receive a deadly wound that we will get into. It will be a fake staged event. The world will receive him as if he has risen from the dead, like Jesus rose from the dead. And he is going to have seemingly risen from the dead. It's a twin Trump cloning situation. That's what the Twin Towers were about. And so we're going to go Revelation 6. All of it. Yeah, let's just do all of it. Revelation 13, all of it. 2 Thessalonians, got it. Daniel, got it. Got it. The next one, I think we would do, let's do Daniel 10 real quick. And I want to come down all the way down. Hang on just a quick second. Sorry, it's Daniel 11. And you get to the abomination of desolation again. Let's do Daniel 9:27, the abomination of desolation. That's the beast, the false prophet, and all that good fun stuff. So this is the end times in a nutshell. The Antichrist is going to receive a deadly wound, and then he is going to unbeknownst to anybody on the earth, he is going to spiritually rise, which I need to put that one in there. That will be Revelation 11:7. So the beast is going to rise and ascend out of the bottomless pit. And he's going to what? Make war against them. Who's that? The sheep. And shall overcome them and kill him. That's Revelation 11:7. Well, when did we just get told that? Daniel 7:21 and 25. Which, remember, Trump Tower has 5 multiple addresses. 721 through 725 Fifth Avenue, Trump Tower. So the horn or the trump, there it is, 721 through 725 Fifth Avenue. That's Trump Tower. It has 5 multiple addresses. Trump Tower has 5 multiple addresses, 721 through 725 Fifth Avenue. And then you get Trump Tower.
According to Wikipedia, Trump Tower is a 58-story, 664-foot tall mixed-use skyscraper at 721 to 725 Fifth Avenue in the Midtown Manhattan neighborhood of New York City, between East 56th and 57th Streets.
What a coincidence. 721 through 725 perfectly matches, that's Trump, perfectly matches the horn at Daniel 721 through 725. The horn, the trump, the horn, making war with the saints, shall wear out the saints. And we just got through reading when he rises from the pit, shall make war against them and shall overcome them and kill him. So Revelation 11:7 is a direct connection to the Antichrist making war with the saints, with God's chosen few, and killing them. That's called the Great Tribulation. The Great Tribulation, I guess I should show you and tell you, is for the church. The Antichrist is actually for the church. The devil, Satan, is actually for the church. Do I mean for the church as in they want the church, they love the church? No. They're for the church's cleansing because they are programmed by God to hate the church. So by hating the church and killing the church, they cleanse the church. Jesus, Satan, was programmed through, remember, God put the devil into Judas to go kill Jesus. That was necessary. So Judas was actually for the church, not for the church in that he loved the church, but for the church because what he did had to be done. And we look at Daniel 12:10. So just to prove to you, and 11:35. 2 places in Daniel, it tells you that the Great Tribulation is for the church. It is a must. Now, I want to take you to Acts 14:22, my phone number. Confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them in the faith, and that we, who's we? The chosen few sheep of the narrow way that few find. It's a calling. That we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of God. In other words, we need to go through a lot of abuse by the world. The world hated me before it hated you, but I have chosen you out of the world. Therefore, the world hateth you. All the apostles were murdered, maybe except John. Jesus was murdered. All of the church was murdered all throughout the Crusades, the Roman Empire, murdered, burned at the stake, etc. That is tribulation. It's not tribulation when you get a flat tire. It's not tribulation because somebody on your job treats you poorly. It's not tribulation because somebody cuts you off in traffic. It's tribulation if somebody tries to run you off the road because of your beliefs, or somebody on the job abuses you because of your beliefs. It's because of what separates you, what makes you different, which is you're in the truth, you're in the narrow way. So when they abuse you because of the way you live your life in the way, the church was actually called the way in the book of Acts. They were referred to as the way. And Jesus is the way. That we all through much tribulation enter the kingdom. Well, what's the great tribulation for? It's to cleanse the final church. The last Christians to be called. And it's such a majority. 99.9% of the church is lost today in all type of world religions, New Age religions, mystery Babylonian religions, mystery religions, whatever. In fake Christianity that proclaims free will and is really fine with you celebrating Christmas. It's all there in fake religions all throughout the earth. The Lord is going to call his out of every bit of that. But right now, 99.9% of the chosen few, of the narrow way that few find, are going to get cleansed through the great tribulation. That's what the Antichrist is for. That's his job, is to kill, purge, cleanse the church. Let's get into that bloodshed and killing in Daniel 12:10. Many shall be purified. Who's that? The church at the end times. And made white, the bride of Christ, and tried. This is the tribulation. They're going to be tried. But the wicked shall do wickedly. That's right. It's their job to do wicked, to be wicked, and to purge the church. And none of the wicked shall understand. They will not know what they're doing. Like Jesus said, forgive them, Lord. They know not what they do. But the wise shall understand. That's right. The sheep will understand. But see, it's about being purified and made white and going through the trials of the great tribulation. Daniel speaks of it again here. And he said, and some of them of understanding, sheep, shall fall. That's right. Going to be killed, thrown into prison, and so forth. To try them. That's right. They're going to be tried, go through that cleansing process, and to purge. What's getting purged? Their sins. And to make them white. Oh, the bride of Christ. Even to the time of the end. That's right, the very end of the earth. Because it is yet for the time appointed. So, in the time of Daniel, it was not then. It is for this, and it is for the future end time that is appointed. So you get the idea. That's what the great tribulation, we all through much tribulation enter the kingdom. You have to go through tribulation to enter the kingdom. Well, the great tribulation is for the church, to make them white, to try them, to purge them, to try them. Got it. So we now can get rid of that. So the beast rises in Revelation 11:7. And he makes war against the saints and overcomes them and kills them. That's right. That's his job. And he comes in his own name, John 5:43. Let's get rid of that. And what he does is he comes to what they call the abomination of desolation. And he shall confirm a covenant with many for 1 week. And in the midst of that week, he shall cause the sacrifice and oblation to cease. And the overspreading of abominations, he shall make it desolate, even until the consumption and determined shall be poured upon the desolate. This is known as the abomination of desolation. What is that? That is when it is microscoped, it is magnified, it is put under a microscope in utter detail in Revelation 13. Because what he does, and we'll go over it, he has this deadly wound, and one of his heads were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. And this is Revelation 13:3, and frame 13:3 was when the Zapruder film showed the head blast, and the Antichrist will get that exact type of head blast to his right eye. I guess we need to load that up because it's in Zechariah 11. 17. So this deadly wound that we just read about, the idle shepherd, see, Jesus is the good shepherd, but the idle shepherd that leaveth the flock, see, Jesus doesn't leave his flock. He loses not one of his sheep that God gave to him when? From before the foundation of the world. Ephesians 1, 4 and 5. That's what grace is. Ephesians 2, 8, 9, and 10. They never give you verse 10, but that's not what this is about. So I'm speeding through that. The sword, and by the way, also that's in Romans 8, 29 and 30, and the fairness of it is Romans 9, 11 through 24. The sword shall be upon his arm and his right eye, and his arm shall be clean dried up, and his right eye shall be utterly darkened. Now, the Heidi Bowl, Jets, Raiders. Jets hit the Twin Towers. The Heidi Bowl featured the Jets playing the right eye wound Raiders. Back in when? You guessed it, 11/17, November 17th. All the world around you is a stage. Oakland Raiders logo. See the right eye utterly darkened? They played the Jets. Mystery Babylon runs this earth. They have scripted your world around you, the AI, the ghost in the machine, and we will get into the AI and the ghost in the machine in just a moment. So his right eye will be utterly darkened. So the Antichrist will have a deadly wound to his right eye. Now we get into Revelation 11:31, and it says, and they shall pollute the sanctuary, shall take away the daily sacrifice, and shall place the abomination that maketh desolate. So once again, you get the abomination of desolation. That's Daniel 11:31. It's told again in Daniel 9:27. And if I'm not mistaken, it's also Daniel 8, King James Version, Bible Gateway. In Daniel 8, the Antichrist story is told again, Daniel 8, 11 through 13. Ready? Yeah, he magnified himself even to the prince of the host. By him, the daily sacrifice, once again, is taken away, and the place of the sanctuary was cast down, and a host was given against him, and the daily sacrifice, by reason of the transgression, it cast it down to the ground, and it practiced and prospered. And then I heard one saint speaking, and another saint said unto that certain saint which spake, how long shall the vision concerning the daily sacrifice and the transgression of desolation, get it? Abomination, desolation, desolate. Same exact story being told over and over. Transgression of the desolation, to give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden under foot. And right after this abomination of desolation, Jesus says what in Matthew 24:15? He says, therefore, when you see the abomination of desolation, how many times do we read the words abomination and desolation in the book of Daniel? Well, we read it in 11:31, 9:27, and 8:11 through 13, didn't we? And you come back to Jesus, and he says, therefore, when you see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet in 3 different places, stand in the holy place. That's right. He's going to be in the temple. We just looked up Trump on temple coins. That's right. Who remembers when Mike Pompeo was sent by Trump over there to Israel, right? Trump's on those temple coins. There's the third temple right there, the coming third temple where the Antichrist will declare himself to be God and perform the abomination of desolation. That's right. So he says, let them which be in Judea, because that's where it's going to take place. What is Judea in the end times? Well, I'm glad you asked. The great city is talked about throughout the book of Revelation. You see the great city in 2 or 3, 4 different places. And that great city is Israel. It's where Jesus was killed. And ever since Jesus was killed there, it has been nothing but ground zero for the Antichrist. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. Where was he crucified? That's right, over there. Well, spiritually, it's Sodom and Egypt. Well, I will tell you that Tel Aviv, the former capital, is as liberal as San Francisco. In Egypt, well, let's just say there's a pyramid with an all-seeing eye on top of the Israeli Supreme Court. That's an easy Google search. So the great city of Mystery Babylon is ground zero because A, it's where Jesus was murdered. B, Jesus referred to it as Jerusalem, Jerusalem, which killeth the prophet. So every prophet was killed there, basically, give or take. And it's where the Antichrist performs the abomination of desolation. So don't let anybody ever fool you. That great city is where Trump is already on temple coins, and they already have the architectural renderings of the coming third temple. That's right. So you can read all of this on your own, but it talks about the beast rise up out of the sea, 7 heads, 10 horns, and a pond. His horns, 10 crowns, and the beast which Saul was like unto a leopard, and his feet were like a bear, and his mouth like a lion, and his dragon gave him the power. So the dragon gives him the power because Satan has possessed his body, which is what the mark of the beast is. Everybody is going to be as possessed. All goats will be as possessed. The fallen angel, demonic entities will use the human body as an avatar and go around with remember how powerful the girl was in The Exorcist? Or watch the movie Venom. Remember how powerful he was when the entity came and took over his body and used his body as an avatar? He had no control over his body. And the human host were dying off in the movie Venom. And the girl in The Exorcist was about to die. But the fallen angels will keep that body alive. And that's what all of these psychological operations are about, as far as pineal gland and transhumanism and all that. Those are all psychological operations. So the dragon, or Satan, gives him this power because, remember, Satan offered Jesus the kingdoms of the world. God has him running the earth, but God's in control. And how do you know God's in control? How do you know this isn't just a war between God and Satan? Well, the Lord, of course, has already written the book of Revelation from Genesis. And the Word was from before the foundation of the world. And Jesus is the Word. So the Word and Jesus were both from before the foundation of the world. And the sheep, and that's John 1:1. In the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And then in John 1:14, and the Word became flesh, which was Jesus, declaring the end from the beginning. So declaring revelation from Genesis, and from ancient times to the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, I will do my pleasure. God's ordained everything. He's not waiting on little Johnny or little Sally to make a free will decision. Isaiah 45:10, God said, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Yes, he does. God's in charge, even of the evil. All the evil, God's ordained it. God's created it. A third of the angels were programmed to fall. Not 99%. Now, if it was just random, what if 99% did? Nope. It was exactly what God ordained would fall. Proverbs 16:4, the Lord have made all things for himself. Yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. The day of evil is a necessary evil to what? Cleanse the church and purge it of its sins. So, Revelation 13, this is the 666 chapter, down in verse 18. But again, deadly wound. And I saw one of his heads as if it were wounded to death. Where's that deadly wound at? That's right, upon his right eye, Zechariah 11:17. And his deadly wound was healed. That's right, he comes back from the dead. Like Jesus came back from the dead, the Antichrist seemingly also returns from the dead, but he doesn't. So then it says here, to blaspheme, he opened his mouth and blasphemy against God. This is the abomination of desolation told in Revelation 13:6. and to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, right? The abomination of desolation. And his tabernacle, and to them that dwell in the earth. Now, you will hear many people say, nope, the human body is a temple. The human body is now the temple in the new covenant. There is no Jewish temple anymore. Wait a minute, though. Back up. To the Jew, that temple is still a holy place. And they are the last ones to get the call and be awakened at the time of the abomination of desolation. All of Jesus's bloodline has lived on this earth and buried as goats because they knew not Jesus. They've been keeping the Torah and believing in these temples. And remember, Jesus said, you that be in Judea, flee. See, they don't run that country over there, the great city of Mystery Babylon. They're just there keeping the Torah. And they are blinded to Jesus. Romans 11:25. I would not, brethren, that you be so ignorant of this mystery, lest you be wise in your own conceits, that the blindness of the bloodline Israel, in part, has happened to Israel until, the blindness is going to be lifted. Until when? Until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in. In other words, until the last non-bloodline gets the call, and then the church, then the bloodline is going to be awakened just like that. So Jesus' own bloodline, his own Israelite people will get the call at the very end. And to them, that temple is a holy place still to this day. That's what this is all about. Is at the very end, it's about God's bloodline. Let them which be in Judea flee to the mountains. Let which them that are on the housetop come down. Do not even go into your house to get anything out of it. If you're in the field, don't even go back in to get clothes. Run. Woe to them that have children or breastfeeding. Hope that it's not in winter, for there shall be great tribulation, which was not since for the world, nor ever will be. And except those days be shortened, so all the different timelines of the Antichrist ruling are cut short. This Antichrist will rule for 3.5 years or 1,260 days or 42 months. Cut short, because it's only going to last about 3 days, I think. And that is in Revelation 11. See, Revelation 11, where it talks about the two witnesses are the church. We are all what? Kings and priests. Beginning of Revelation, it refers to the church as kings and priests. And they are represented by 2 candlesticks, and the church is represented by 7 candlesticks, because the church is about to go through its cleansing, because 7 is the number for cleansing, and the church, as we saw, is about to be cleansed. And 7, 2 Kings 5:14, and a man was told to dip himself 7 times in the Jordan, according to the saying of the Son of Man, and his flesh came again like unto the flesh of a little child, and he was clean. 7 is the number for cleansing. The church is about to get cleansed, as we just read about. And then the 7 trumpets and 7 bowls is God's wrath, and that is God cleansing the earth of all the evil that's been upon it. So again, you want to read Matthew 24, 1 through 37 to get all of this, because I'm running out of time. And it says right here in Matthew 24:24, there shall arise false Christ. I looked that word up. It is not plural. So there shall arise a false Christ and a false prophet, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they would deceive the very elect of God. But it's not possible that the elect be fooled, is it? That's right. So you go to 2 Thessalonians 2, 1 through 11. The day of Christ, a day shall not come except there be a falling away first. That is the great tribulation, when all of mankind falls, and the only ones left on the earth with any type of brain power whatsoever are the sheep, because all the goats are going to worship the image of the beast. And as soon as they do that, the fallen angel entities are going to move inside their body and overtake their body. So at Revelation 13, whose names are not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, same as Revelation 17:8, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world. And then you have a false prophet coming up out of the earth, and he starts paying homage to the beast who has returned from, or seemingly has returned from the dead. And this false prophet does great wonders, makes fire come down from heaven and the earth inside of man, and deceives them that dwell upon the earth. And what is that deception? That deception is showing great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, shall deceive the very elect. And again, immediately after the tribulation of those days comes God's wrath, and he puts an end to it. Let me see here. Not since beginning, no time after. So I've covered that. I've covered that. And when it says the gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for witnesses unto nation, and then the end shall come, that's preached by an angel during the wrath of God. God's already put an end to the great tribulation, and all the goats and the fallen angels of the earth are hiding, and an angel goes and preaches the everlasting gospel. It's not humans that do that. The angel preaches the everlasting gospel, Revelation 14. I think it's 14:9. It's 14:6. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach to them that dwell on the earth, to every nation, tribe, tongue, and people. It's an angel that does it. So this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then the end shall come. Yeah, because that's God's wrath already. So it says here, and many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. But the inequity shall abound, and the love shall wax cold. Before that, the Lord said, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places. That is Revelation 6, where the white horse is the Antichrist rising on the third day and receiving his crown. A crown was given unto him, Revelation 6:2. And then you get a red horse, Revelation 6:4. Take peace from the earth and shall kill one another. That is war. And then the third seal is the black horse. That is famine. That's Revelation 6:5, 6:6. And then the fourth seal is the pale horse. And it talks about death and the grave, death and hell. Hell is the grave, death and hell. Hell is not eternal torment. Death and the grave followed him, and power was given unto them over 1/4 the earth. That's 2 billion people. That's population, not land mass, to kill with the sword and hunger and death and the beast of the earth. So we can get rid of that. Cause as many as not worship the image of the beast be killed. They are sealed on their foreheads. Jesus seals his church on their foreheads. It's a spiritual sealing. Let's get into that. Daniel 2:41-43, the final kingdom. Whereas I'm running out of time, but whereas thou sawest the feet and the toes, part of the potter's clay and part of iron. You want to read all of Daniel 2, but when you get to 41-43, this is the final kingdom of technology, which is iron. The kingdom shall be divided, and there shall be in its strength of iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with the miry clay. Remember, clay is humans, especially clay is spoken of as humans. The potter's clay in Romans 9:11-24. Write that down. Romans 9:11-24. The fairness of God choosing his from before the foundation of the world. Paul explains the fairness, and his sheep are, well, the humans are referred to as clay. And the toes and feet, which were part iron and part of clay, that's because the final Antichrist beast kingdom is part of iron. In other words, part from the technology, That represents the fallen angels that are in the technology. That's what AI is. It's the ghost in the machine, per the album by The Police, 1981, titled Ghost in the Machine. So the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And whereas the iron technology mixed with the miry clay, humans, because just like in The Exorcist, she uploaded a demon by playing with a Ouija board. In the movie Venom, they just uploaded into their bodies automatically. They didn't have to do anything. Well, when they worship the image of the beast, they will be uploaded with these demonic entities, and they will use the entities, will use the human body as an avatar to kill sheep. Whereas thou saw the iron mixed with the human body clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. That's right, because they're going to enter their body. They shall not cleave to one another, even as iron is not mixed with clay, and that is the human host dying off. And in the movie Venom, it showed the humans dying off. Except for Venom, he kept his human alive, but the rest, the human always died. So you get to 2 Thessalonians 2, but the man of sin is revealed. 2 Thessalonians 2, verse 3. And it says, who opposeth, this is the abomination of desolation again, spoken of in Revelation 13, and throughout the book of Daniel, and right here in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 4, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worship, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. And it speaks of the mystery of iniquity doeth already work today. That is mystery Babylon the Great. They run this earth behind the scenes. It is a mystery. I'm not going to get into that. And then shall that wicked be revealed. The Antichrist will reveal himself as God above all other gods. The Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. So God's going to destroy him. And even whose coming is after the working of Satan with all the power, signs, and lying wonders. And so we're about to get to a very big part here. And that deceiveth the unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause, what? God shall send them a strong delusion, that they will believe a lie. All goats will believe this strong delusion of Matthew 24:24 of the false Christ, false prophet, and show great signs and wonders. And in 2 Thessalonians, it said lying signs right there, signs and lying wonders. So 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, 9 and 11 are direct to Matthew 24:24. The false Christ, Antichrist, the false prophet, shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, the very elect would be fooled. That is the strong delusion that the goat world should believe a lie. Such a strong delusion that Jesus said, if it were possible, the very elect of God would be fooled. But of course, it's not possible. That is the end times told in a nutshell. You want to watch this over and over and over, but each time you watch it, you want to read every single passage and chapter that I told you about. You want to read all of Revelation 6, 1 through at least 1 through 8. You want to read all of Revelation 13. You want to read all of Matthew 24, 1 through 37. You want to read all of 2 Thessalonians 2, 1 through 11. You want to read all of Daniel 7, all of it, but especially verses 21 through 25, specific about the horn and matches Trump Tower's address. You want to read Daniel 11, 31. You want to read Daniel 9, 27. You want to read Daniel 8, 11 through 13. Zechariah 11, 17. Revelation 11, that's the church, the two witnesses. And then you want to read, what else was it? Daniel 11:35, Acts 14:22, Daniel 12:10, and 2 Kings 5:14 concerning all the sevens that are in Revelation. That 7 is for cleansing. I love you very much. Ask questions anytime. This will be on every single YouTube channel that I have. Love y'all. Ask questions anytime out there in the comments, or if you're on Facebook, or if I know you, call me, message me, text me. We'll talk about it, or comment in the comments. We'll discuss. Love you.